Welcome back to Elfster's Rifles and Reloading. So maybe you're new, you're not sure whether you should get a scope or a red dot, or you're just not sure what size target you need to purchase, or you're limited to say maybe 100, 200, maybe 300 yards. You know, I get that. Not everyone has a 1,000-yard range in their backyard. Or maybe you're not so serious, somewhat of a weekend warrior like myself. Well, let me show you what I do in order to make these quick and inexpensive targets that you can customize on the fly, depending on the magnification of the scope you're using and the yardage you're shooting at. Now, first and foremost, most cities or towns have a dollar store or some type of family dollar. I buy all this thick cardboard paper at the dollar store for not $1 but 50 cents, and it's 22 inches by 28 inches. And you can leave it that size depending on the circles you're putting on, or you can cut it up into smaller targets. For 50 cents, it's hard to beat, and it makes a really distinct bullet hole. Also, the dollar store sells these jumbo markers for $1 in red, black, and blue. You can also purchase them on eBay and Amazon for next to nothing. I also purchased this stencil on Amazon. I want to say I got it for about $5–7. And I'll make sure I put a link in the description box below of where to purchase this stencil. But it comes
with a 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and 4 inch circles on it.
And depending on your max magnification, it should cover you and your rifle all the way up to about 500–600 yards. Now, for me personally, depending on the thickness of your reticle, or if your scope is, I don't know, roughly 12 or 14 power or greater on the max magnification, I like to use these 1 inch blaze orange round stickers. I get them off Amazon. There's 1,000 of them in this one single roll, and I want to say I got it for 12 or 14 bucks. And I'll make sure I put a link to where you purchase these on Amazon in the description box below. And it doesn't hurt to improvise at your local home improvement center or hardware store. And to show you how not serious I am, and kind of I know I keep on saying weekend warrior, but it's truly what I am. I think this is a toilet bowl flange ring. So I think I got it for $3, but hell, you know what? If this stencil can take me from 1 inch to 4 inch, and this cost me $3, which the inside diameter is 5 and the outside diameter is 7 inches, it pretty much covers whatever magnification scope I need to use all the way up to 600 yards. Now, I'm sure for some of you watching this video, you're a veteran reloader or rifleman. You pretty much have a 1,000-yard desert in your backyard. This probably seems way obvious to you, but I also understand some of you are new and you don't have those luxuries such as a 1,000-yard desert, and you're very limited to either 1, 2, or 300-yard ranges. And maybe you're not so serious, you just like to go out the range and have a good time. Well, let me show you how all this works so you can get going. So if you just like to shoot groups or you're doing load development, let me show you what you need to do depending on the magnification of your scope and the yardage you're shooting at. So first and foremost, what you need to figure out is what size circle you like to comfortably shoot at 100 yards depending on the magnification of your scope. Now, for pure example's sake, say you have, I don't know, a 14, 16, maybe even an 18x scope, and you comfortably like to shoot 1 inch circles at 100 yards. If you want to move that target with the same scope down to say 200 yards, if you're shooting 1 inch circles at 100 yards, at 200 yards, it's simply 1 inch times 2, or 2 inch circle. In that same example, if you want to move the target down to say 300 yards, it's simply just 1 inch times 3, or 3 inch circle. It's simple as that. And just as another example, say like you have a 9x scope and you could comfortably shoot 2 inches at 100 yards. At 200 yards, it's simply 2 inches times 2, or 4 inches. Or at 300 yards, it's 2 inches times 3, or a 6 inch circle. It really is that simple. So if you're new to the game and you follow this method, as long as your scope is on max power, regardless of the yardage you shoot at, your aiming circle will roughly be the same, no matter if it's 1, 2, or 300 yards. Now, for me personally, anything past 600 yards, I'm pretty much banging steel. It's just too tedious to drive down and check out your target. But if you wanted to use this method and you're totally new to shooting rifles, if you prefer to shoot 1-inch circles at 100 yards and you wanted to shoot paper at 1000, it would simply just be 1 inch times 10, or a 10-inch circle. Now, if you'd like to shoot groups at 100 yards with a 1x red dot, which I know some people are against this. I mean, like, they're saying, what's the point of getting a red dot? All you're going to do is shoot groups. You know, I kind of get that. But you know what? I totally get some people just like to go to the range and have a good time. And to be honest with you, so do I. Yeah, I'll try and run and gun once in a while and use the abilities of my 1x red dot. But it is kind of fun to show off how accurate your rifle can be at 100 yards with a red dot. And what I personally like to do is use a 5-inch circle at 100 yards and co-witness that red dot with my rear smallest aperture on the lowest visible setting that my red dot can go. And I have found this personally to be more accurate than a flip to the side magnifier, depending on the size of your aiming point. And you'll notice this if you don't co-witness your rear iron sight and you have your red dot visibility setting maxed out, that red dot is going to be huge, and most likely it will completely cover this 5-inch black circle. But if you lower the visibility setting down as far as it can go with your naked eye, as small as you can make it out, and co-witness it with your rear smallest aperture, you will find that that circle or red dot will fit perfectly in this black 5-inch circle. If you don't believe me, try it. Now for my DPMS 3G1, from doing low development or shooting groups at 100 yards, for example, like the 6x5 target, I personally like to use 2.5 to 3.5 inch circles. And it seems like the older I get, the more I like to use my higher magnification scopes, and the larger my circles get. but as you know, for me, with a low power scope like this Vortex Strike Eagle, I think 2 to 3 inch circles works pretty darn good. Well, I hope this helps you out, especially if you're new or you're considering buying a scope or a red dot. And if you have any questions, feel free to make those comments in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I possibly can. And trust me when I say this, I understand some of you don't have 1,000 yard ranges in your backyards, and you have 100, 200, 300 yards that you're limited to, or maybe you're just not so serious and you just like to go out to the range and have a good time. Trust me, I'm not going to forget about you. Well, I hope you find this useful, and if you did, please subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you next time.